So what is going on YouTube? This video is part of a series of my YouTube memoirs following my journey and experiences throughout YouTube from early on, like YouTube in its infancy, all the way to the conclusion of this channel that you're watching. Now, there's a playlist for this, for those of you scoring at home. Link in the description box, which, you know, the description used to be on the side. It wasn't always in the bottom. Hopefully, if I'm doing my job good as a videographer, this video by itself should stand alone. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, looking back a little bit, around 2008, 2009, we got a great economic recession, a bunch of people out of work, and as a result, a bunch of people making videos. I mean, some very, very creative people who would not otherwise be making content were just rolling it out. Really, really cool individuals. Great, great content. A lot of fun. A lot of back and forth. I mean, these were people that were looking for social interaction. I mean, we were putting the social media into YouTube. That started to peter out, I want to say around 2010, 2011. And the people that I used to socialize with, they're just kind of dwindling off, and I didn't really have anybody to have video responses to. Wasn't really seeing much interactive, philosophical or social commentary stuff. You know, you get philosophy and you get social commentary, but so many of these videos on YouTube, and those of you that seek out these videos will attest to this, they're one way. You know, they're a person just pedantically lecturing, and you can comment, and maybe you go back and forth with somebody in the comments, maybe not, but you don't really get anywhere. So I stepped back from that whole scene and essentially decided to go back to my roots. Not quite far enough back to my roots, I think, now that I look back on it. Went back to gun content. And reason for that was, at the time, I was taking in a lot of Yankee Marshall, Mac, Military Arms Channel, you know, some of the higher production gun channels out there. And I dug what they were doing. Figured I'd, you know, put up a little something, but honestly, the few of those videos, my firearms content was obsolete by that point. They had so commercialized what they were presenting, or I can't even explain what it is that Yankee Marshall does, but his production is not the style of interaction and learning. You know, his is the thing, and a good example of this would be when he was carrying a Chiappa Rhino, the one chambered in .357 Magnum. You're gonna have to forgive me, I don't remember the model of it, and I don't really care what the model of it is. And you know, he's running the Underwood Super Penetrators, and he puts out this challenge about how he'll challenge anybody with a 9mm to a series of a battery of tests to determine which one's superior. Now, mind you, Yankee Marshall, when he's carrying a revolver chambered in .40 cal, it's the best thing going. When he's carrying a 9mm full-size Beretta, it's the best thing going. When he's carrying a .357 Magnum revolver, it's the best thing going. Guy's got great videos, by the way. He really does. And I think he needles people. And, you know, you watch his videos on appendix carry and that sort of thing, and it's kind of fun to see how he spools up. But you never really know with him. As I've said before a long time ago, him and Taylor Swift are like my two dirty little secrets. I like them both. Um, I think, golly, it wasn't around that time. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. The best reaction I had was, we were talking about loadouts, as far as, how many rounds are you going to have loaded in your magazine. And I was exploring the possibility of downloading a round or two to make a reload easier with the chamber closed, under duress. And some people that knew more about it than I did recommended against it. And one particular individual, I don't know if he'd want me to mention his name or not, but he's still on YouTube, a person whose opinion I very much respect. I believe at the time, asked me about my training, what was I taught, do you just click it in there, or were you trained to ram that sucker home? And actually convinced me, changed my mind. Now that was on, back then, that was on the Glock 26, I want to say. I think I had already transitioned out of the 19 at that time, but bit of a different story. I've currently got a 27 that I'm working with, and it's okay with the stock base plates, not to make this a gun content video, but the +2 base plate, the base piece that's on the 33 round Glock mag, you can put it on other mags. It's a little funny when you actually have that loaded up. So I actually found myself, it's overloaded by the time you put that +2 on there. The Terran Tactical one might be better, but I found myself downloading one because it's just a little funky. It like has a lot of, it feeds okay, but it has a lot of pressure on the feed lips at the top of the magazine. So, so I downloaded one. It's not the only game in town, but mixing it up with people that have videos like Paul Harrell, and watching him at that time. Maybe Paul Harrell was a little bit later. That guy came out of nowhere with just some really good content. For the sake of it, I'm going to put a link to Paul Harrell as well as Yankee Marshall down in the description. Hopefully Paul's videos are still up. He's a cool guy. My favorite, man, he's got good videos with the, I can't remember what he calls it. Is it like the meat bag or whatever he does? And then he like shoots a bunch of oranges with layers of skin. But he shoots it like four times. So like ballistically anything, if I shoot anything, say with a 9mm 4 times, it's going to make a mess in there, And I tried to comment on a couple of his videos, like, hey man, just once, it'd be, let me see one shot, But I never got it, because ever since he shaved off, he used to have these really big, thick sideburns. You got to check out his channel and go back to the beginning, I'm telling you, do a deep dive. He had these big-ass sideburns, and he's in this log cabin, and he talks about being in a log cabin when it was shot up, but I'm not going to share those videos with you. Hopefully it's still up. He has a very, very good video on the Miami-Dade shootout, and that's worth watching if you need to see something. I was very impressed. Whether or not what he says is true, a lot of the stories that he has there are plausible. They hold water. I think he's got sources on the video, but go ahead and check it out. I appreciate everybody's time and coming along for me or with me on this journey. And, got a few more of these to roll out. And we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.